I said, didn't I, on my Raw review, that if you're not excited for SummerSlam, you might need to check your pulse. I'm going to expand that a little bit. If you're not excited for SummerSlam weekend, more specifically the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn pay-per-view as well as SummerSlam, you might need to check your pulse. This Wednesday, these two shows, NXT and SmackDown, were nothing to write home about, but they are writing the novel of that weekend coming up at the end of August. So, take from it what you will.
There's gonna be a fight tonight!
What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and this is the fights on Wednesday night for August 5th, 2015. As I said, steamrolling not only to SummerSlam, but to SummerSlam weekend and the NXT, the first proper NXT pay-per-view. And I say that, and people are saying to me all the time, well, the NXT's had pay-per-view. This is the first one that gets rid of that impact zone feeling. They're in a different place. They're in a big arena. They've really played up the fact that it's going to be in front of a huge audience at the Barclays Center, which is great. I think Barclays Center was where they had TLC 2 years ago in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody will correct me down in the box below. But not only that, the fact that it's on a different night. Sorry, guys. Sinuses are fucked as usual. But yeah, as I said in the little intro bit that I do there, nothing to write home about. NXT or SmackDown this week. A lot of building. A lot of building the anticipation, sort of confirming some stuff that we already knew. But, you know, when it's a rumor, you can get excited about the rumor. When it's confirmed, you can get excited that it's happening. I hope that makes sense. We start the show off with the best match of the night, Charlotte versus Bayley, which starts off with a handshake. You know, sportsmanship. They tell the story on commentary about how these guys used to be rivals. Sorry, these ladies used to be rivals. Now they have a respect for each other. Bayley feels before she goes for the NXT Women's Championship that she needs to face the best, and that is Charlotte. That's a little bit contradictory because you want to put forward the idea that the best is the champion, but I can see what they're doing there. It really bothers me that even though they've made a point of calling it the NXT Women's Championship, they still refer to it as a Divas match. Bothers me a little bit. Especially when you see Paige's comments on Austin's podcast about bringing back the Women's Championship, and when you see Medusa's comments all over Facebook that she's going to be bringing back something to one of our favorite forms of sports entertainment. I really hope that's a thing. Just putting that out there. Starts off with a handshake, collar and elbow tie up, and a headlock and a shoulder tackle by Bayley. Collar and elbow tie up again, headlock by Charlotte. Some nice chain wrestling that you couldn't really break one move from the next. So I'm just going to say chain wrestling, and a key lock by Bayley. Counter wrestling by Charlotte ends in a headlock. Armbar by Bayley and a roll up by Charlotte. Rolling head scissors suplexes by Charlotte. And it's the only way I can really describe it. She puts Bayley, and I'm going to mention this again on SmackDown, and I'm in 10 minutes when I talk about SmackDown, I'm not going to know what to call it either. Basically, puts the figure four headlock on Bayley and then rolls through, dragging Bayley by the head with her into multiple slams. It's a good little thing. It's one of those things that's becoming commonplace and almost cliche on this channel. That's awesome, and I don't have a clue what to call it. Bayley tosses Charlotte out of the ring, and Bayley limps around the ring for a second or two, selling the injured hand and selling her leg, which is great. Bayley does a drop kick through the ring. If you can imagine Sami Zayn's dive that he does from the outside under the bottom rope turnbuckle to the other part of the corner, well, Bayley does that, but with a drop kick, so feet first instead of head first. I guess maybe it could be a tribute to Sami Zayn, who's injured, maybe not. Don't think I've ever seen her do it before. Obviously, somebody will correct me down in the box below if she has. Paige-style rolling clotheslines and a spear in the corner by Bayley, boot by Charlotte. Uppercut and a top rope back elbow by Bayley. Corner spear and 3 corner splashes and a suplex by Bayley. Top rope hurricane rana by Bayley. Both women sit in the middle of the ring and trade some stiff-ass forearms, and it's nice. You know, the old cliche, this isn't ballet. Even the women, it's not ballet. Neckbreaker and a spear by Charlotte. Figure 4, but Bayley reverses it. Now, this is a cool story for Charlotte. Now, we always talk about the setup moves versus the finishing moves. You know, Randy Orton has the suspension DDT, which is a great move, but you know it's not a finisher. If Charlotte locks on the figure 4, then you know it's not the end of the match. If Charlotte locks on the figure 8, you know it is the end of the match. in the same sense as, this is my dad's move, this is the figure 4, famed move that's been known for years, whatever. Here's how I've improved it. Because the figure 8, with how she bridges and whatnot, it would be a hell of a lot harder to reverse than the standard figure 4 where you're both laying flat. So I like that when she only uses the figure 4 and doesn't bridge, people are proving that it can be reversed, it can be broken, etc. Totally besides the point. Charlotte chops in a Bayley to belly, Bayley to back suplex. Oh yes, boot by Charlotte and a schoolgirl. This is great too. Charlotte, even though she's a good guy, gets frustrated. She hits a boot on Bayley and then does what would be a schoolgirl type of pin, but the whiplash of it takes Bayley's head into the bottom turnbuckle, so it makes it look like Charlotte's getting pissed. Makes Bayley look great because she's frazzling the great and all-powerful Charlotte in her own mind. Second rope, Bayley to belly suplex, and Bayley gets the win. I really wanted them to do the tasteful sort of... I know they do it in Ring of Honor all the time. People are crowing at me about how they do it in Ring of Honor all the time. The show of honor, the show of respect after the match. I almost predicted that was going to happen. Felt a little unfinished, but whatever. If Bayley goes on, as we're going to hear in a minute, to become the champion, I'm sure Charlotte will come out and congratulate her or something like that. Baron Corbin has a match with a jobber whose name I wrote down and I'm not even going to read out. The match consisted of a one-punch knockout in the end of days. Baron Corbin gets the win. Rumor being that Baron Corbin is going to face Samoa Joe at TakeOver Brooklyn. That has not been confirmed as of yet, unless somebody else, as I say, tells me otherwise. In the back, very, very out of breath, Bayley talking to Commissioner Regal, asks for a title shot. Regal says, you're not the only one looking for a title shot. Becky Lynch is also looking for a title shot. You guys are going to have a number 1 contenders match next week. And the winner is going to go on to take over Brooklyn. Now, Sasha Banks is on the main roster. Becky Lynch is on the main roster. There is no reason to believe that Bayley is not winning these next 2 matches. That's just my personal opinion. If they don't do it that way, I'm not going to say it's wrong, but there's no point in Becky Lynch winning the number 1 contenders match, because you got 2 Raw divas now fighting for the NXT Championship, and there's no point in Sasha retaining at TakeOver, because that just lingers her in NXT. Tyler Breeze in another squash match against another jobber. Collar and elbow tie at mudhole stomp, mounted punches, beauty shot. Breeze gets the win. Regal comes out to announce that Tyler Breeze, who's been bugging him for weeks and weeks and weeks for a star opponent for TakeOver Brooklyn, announces that Regal has found Jushin Thunder Liger to face Tyler Breeze at the TakeOver pay-per-view in Brooklyn. We see a nice video package, most of it being IWGP and some indie stuff and WCW, which is great for me, because while I know the name, I haven't seen very much of Jushin Thunder Liger's stuff. I wouldn't do me any good to sit here and pretend that I have. I'm not the biggest historian on wrestling in general. You guys know this, and especially when it comes to WCW, as I only came into WCW when it died. So I'm going into this match, obviously this guy's a veteran. He's going to, I predict he's going to put over Tyler Breeze, because that's what NXT does. But he'll be relatively new to me as well. So if he does win and he does hang around for a bit and have a mini feud with Tyler Breeze, it'll be great for me, because to me, he'll be a new star even though he's been around for like 20 years apparently. I hope that makes sense. Like I say, they did a great video package to introduce him. This has been rumored for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've already kind of been saying it. But, yeah, we get a preview, a promo preview video package for Apollo Crews, who looks like an athletic motherfucker. I don't know who he is. Apparently, this is where I really got to reach out to my viewers out there that are indie fans. Is this the guy, Uhaa Nation, that people have been talking about? I ask because I don't know. Hard on my sleeve, I'm going to ask you guys when I don't know. As I say, WWE always good with their video package. The guy looks impressive as fuck. He looks like one of his finishers is a standing moonsault. And he looks to be a pretty big dude, so it's impressive. And he's going to debut at TakeOver. They don't say who it's against. Dawson and Wilder versus the Hype Bros. The Hype Bros are a little guilty pleasure of mine, because they are a fun tag. They're not main event. They're not the next Legion of Doom or anything like that, but they're fun. And I tweeted that the future of WWE is the Hype Bros versus Beef Mode. I'm sure I'll get some hate for that eventually. Mojo and Dawson start the match with a collar and elbow tie. Multiple shoulder tackles by Mojo. Double knees in the corner by Ryder and a one-man flapjack. 10 punch, which Dawson reverses into a slam. Backbreaker by Wilder. Dawson drops Wilder on Ryder. You know, way to use your partner and all that sort of thing. Dawson rakes the face and smashes his face with an elbow. Slingshot vertical suplex by Dawson, 2 corner splashes, and a face-first gorilla front slam by Mojo, and a Doomsday Rider get the win for the Hype Bros. The heels beat down the faces after the match. This, if we're going to get a proper length pay-per-view in Brooklyn, this could be a nice little mid-card tag team match. It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. Not gonna lie, I'd rather see them than Blake and Murphy. Just putting that one out there. Speaking of Blake and Murphy, we see the Vaudevillains in Regal's office in the back, talking about how they got screwed. Regal lets them know that they will in fact be getting a rematch for the tag team titles at TakeOver Brooklyn, and Regal suggests to them very strongly that they find a way to isolate the distraction that is Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is a thing. My buddy Guapo is very happy about this. Which means, at least for one night, I'm assuming that the Vaudevillains are going to have a valet. They were really on the chop about this, about Alexa Bliss taking advantage of their valor, advantage of their chivalry, which is really good. These guys are campy, and I'm sorry to say this, I don't predict them working on the main roster. I think with a gimmick that is this gimmicky, I think they will suffer the same fate as the Ascension. That is just my prediction, not to say that I don't respect the team. But another match at TakeOver, which means a lot of people are going to be disappointed and a lot of people are going to be sad, angry, whatever, tearing their hair out that Enzo and Cass will not be involved in that match as it stands right now. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all because Enzo and Cass have already reached the popularity where I don't think they necessarily need the belts. Everybody thinks they deserve it, and I agree, but I don't think they need it. I think the Vaudevillains need the belts a little more. Enzo and Cass could make their transition to Raw without ever touching the NXT tag team belts, in my personal opinion. The first team to come out of NXT that I've said that about, ironically enough. Your main event is Samoa Joe versus Rhino. Starts with the collar and elbow tie-up, and Joe works the arm a lot, headlock by Rhino. Both men trade shoulder tackles. And as I say, guys, I'm going through this bit by bit because it's how I do it. This match never really seemed like it got going. These guys have worked before. If you watch TNA... Yes, I watch TNA, guys. I'm sorry. If you watch TNA, you've seen these guys go at it before. They can have decent matches, and they know each other pretty damn well. Joe eats turnbuckle and tosses Rhino out of the ring. Suicide dive and chops by Joe. Chops in the corner by Rhino. An elbow and an enziguri in the corner by Joe. Chops versus headbutts square off in the middle of the ring, ending with a spinebuster by Rhino. STO by Joe, and more jabs and a boot and a senton. TKO by Rhino and chops in the corner. Top rope leg lariat by Joe. Belly to belly suplex by Rhino. I fully expected like a Bailey does it better chant like they did with Emma with the Batista bomb, but that didn't happen. The gore is blocked. Pendulum kick, muscle buster. Joe gets the win. Is anybody surprised that Joe won? Rhino is the biggest, baddest, most impressive looking jobber NXT has ever had. And I don't fault him for that. He came back. He's in the veteran role. He's making other guys look good, and he's doing a good job of it. But he needs to win. It seems to me right now, they bring him in for a couple of weeks. He steamrolls jobbers so that whoever he's going to make look good next can beat him. He gets his credibility back, steamrolling a couple of jobbers, and puts somebody over, which is great. But at the same time, it makes his matches and it makes his feuds very, very predictable. Same problem I have with Jericho, and you guys know the respect that I have for Jericho. So right now, as it stands, TakeOver Brooklyn has the debut of Apollo Crews, Jushin Thunder Liger versus Tyler Breeze, Samoa Joe apparently taking on Baron Corbin, Sasha Banks taking on whoever wins next week, which we know is going to be Bayley, the Vaudevillains versus Blake and Murphy in an NXT Tag Team Championship match, and Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor in, I forgot to mention this before, in an interview he's apparently challenged Finn Balor to up the ante a little bit. Apparently the NXT Championship match at TakeOver Brooklyn is going to be a ladder match, which adds a completely new dynamic to that. So yeah, TakeOver Brooklyn is shaping up pretty damn well. Like I say, the show wasn't very... The show wasn't stacked. The show wasn't must-see. The show wasn't a show you're going to go watch again. The best match of the night was the Divas match at the beginning of the show. Let's be real, and that's not surprising with the NXT Divas that we have. But it set out a lot of stuff, and it gave us a lot to chew on as we go towards the pay-per-view. And you know what? That doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Switching gears over to SmackDown. SmackDown obviously has the R.I.P. Roddy Piper and the video package and all that they did from Raw. Great, fantastic, wonderful. They open up the show. They immediately announce that Roman Reigns versus Rusev is the main event, which could be pretty decent. Two brick walls running into each other, like we just saw in NXT. Roman Reigns comes out, talks about his issues, like quick promo from Roman Reigns. Talks about his issues with with Wyatt. Talks about the addition to the feud of Harper and Ambrose, respectively. Challenge of Wyatt and Harper versus Reigns and Ambrose at SummerSlam, which we've all been telegraphing for weeks now. He's interrupted by Rusev, who comes out and says what Roman Reigns has to say isn't very important. What he has to say is very important, but he doesn't look like, and I don't say this in a disrespectful way, Rusev doesn't look like he knows what he's out there to say. He starts rambling about Lana a little bit. Roman Reigns picks it up. Roman Reigns picks it up and runs with it, just mocks the hell out of him. He calls him a creepy, sexist bastard, and he says, you're dressing up your new girlfriend to look like your own girlfriend. She's not a Barbie doll, man. Jerry Lawler says sometime later in the night she may not be a Barbie doll, but she is plastic and brainless, which I'm sure pleases all the feminists in the audience. I'm going to leave it at that. Basically, he says, you don't know what I've been through, you stupid, silly American. You've never been backstabbed by a cold fish like Lana, but later on tonight when I beat you down, I'm going to call you Lana. Which is disturbing on a lot of levels, but it was kind of comical. Roman Reigns, and I'm going to say this, and I say that this is one of those things where I say it and I know I'm going to get heat for it. You can tell he's related to The Rock. You can tell in the way he's presenting himself, in the way that he's having fun. He's getting really sarcastic. He's getting more entertaining. If you throw in if you smell, or if you threw in it doesn't matter what country you're from, very, very Rock-ish in his promo tonight. Now, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying that it was as good as The Rock. I'm not saying that he's, the new Rock. He's Rocky with hair. But you can see the similarities. It's good. New Day versus the Primetime Players and Mark Henry, which is great because Big E, before the match even starts, is on the outside of the ring screaming, "Go home, Mark, why don't you retire already?" Which is great. Young and Woods start the match with some chain wrestling, dropkick by Woods, and a headbutt and jabs in the corner. A key lock into a headlock by Young, inverted atomic drop, and a low drop kick by Young. Young tosses Kofi and Woods around on the outside, handling his own 2-on-1 like a good babyface should. As we go to commercial break, we come back from commercial break to see Titus chopping the fuck out of Kofi in the corner, to which Uso, whichever one it is, I don't know or care, they're twins anyway, Uso, on commentary says, I think he chopped his nipple off, takes him over to the opposite corner, and there goes the other one, which is fine. Titus O'Neil tags in Mark Henry, and Mark Henry and Titus O'Neil double team Kofi Kingston. Don't you want to be Kofi Kingston in that moment? Corner splash by Henry and a body avalanche to Young by Big E. Trapped rotating mudhole by the New Day, which is becoming their cliche thing. Get them over to the heel corner. Kofi's in. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Tag in Young. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Tag in Big E. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Repeat as necessary. Lather, rinse, repeat as it is. Slingshot low drop kick by Woods. Pendulum kick by Kofi and a super kick by Woods. Splash by Big E. Enziguri by Young. Titus gets the hot tag and kills everybody like he does with those throws and tosses that look very, very scary. Titus splashes Kofi. Young hits a neckbreaker on Kofi. Woods dropkicks Young. Titus pounces Woods. Titus hits what would be a fallaway slam if Mark Henry wasn't standing behind him. Instead, it's a fallaway toss into Mark Henry, who turns it into a World's Strongest Slam for the win. New Day freak out in the back in a promo that I'm not even going to try and recreate verbally. It's great. It's probably on WWE.com. Go check it out. But I will say, and it was mentioned on Raw by New Day, you know, hey, primetime players on commentary again. It must be great to be such defending champions. And I kind of echo that sentiment because they're the champions and they're fighting the least. I know the idea is look at the rest of the roster, look at the rest of the division fighting, jockeying for position just to get a shot at them. But they need to do something at some point. Charlotte with Becky Lynch in her corner and Paige noticeably absent versus Naomi with Team Bad in her corner. And this is pretty quick. This is 5 lines, guys. And this is why I can't stand Naomi. Oh yeah, it's that part of the video where all the Naomi lovers need to like take a step outside for a second. Collar and elbow tie up and a monkey flip by Charlotte. Headlock and a botchy ass messy pin something by Naomi. Naomi rubs her ass on Charlotte's face as if Charlotte says enough of this crap. A 1-slap knockdown in the figure 8 where obviously Naomi has to be saved by her teammates. Charlotte gets the win by disqualification. Botchy pin attempt and rubbing your ass on somebody else's face. This is Naomi's contribution to the Divas division. She thought, well, my father-in-law got famous doing it. Maybe I can get famous doing it too. But nobody cares about you because you're not entertaining. You can't get away with your finishing move being rubbing your ass on somebody else's face. But we come back, and much to my chagrin, I have to put up with more Naomi, but much to my joy, I have Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha in the ring as well, as it's restarted as a tag team match. Becky and Charlotte versus Naomi and Sasha, with Tamina looming on the outside, looking impressive as she does. Charlotte and Sasha start, Thez press and mounted punches by Charlotte, double snapmare and a double elbow by Becky and Charlotte. Becky works over Naomi's arm, which she doesn't sell a lick of, because she's learning from Daniel Bryan. And then there's a dropkick. Multiple running leg drops by Becky, as she does, followed up by the running knee drop that Charlotte does, as she does. Naomi, I'm coming to the conclusion that I am completely wrong about. Naomi, I've said for a while now, Naomi is useless in the Divas division. Naomi has a very good use. She is a very amusing, entertaining punching bag. I will give her that, and only that. Figure 4 headlock and rolling slams by Charlotte, the same as she did on NXT. Naomi tries to pull Charlotte off the apron and fails. Charlotte gives her one kick in the face and she flops around on the outside for a while like a fish. Tamina, her tag team partner, says, "Let me show you how it's done." When the referee's not looking, she gets up on the apron and super kicks Charlotte off. It looks relatively decent. I don't really have much time for Tamina these days either, but she does do little short bits like that that are really great. A double back elbow by Naomi and Sasha. Naomi rides a headlock because that's hard. A slam by Sasha and Charlotte laughs as she's getting up, which is fucking great. Little tiny details. You know, slam by Sasha. Charlotte's like, okay, yeah, you got me. Big smile on her face and gets right back up. Modified bank statement by Sasha. It's not quite the that move that almost looks like a STO or a crossface or whatever, but she's got her in the sitting position. She's still posted. She's still got the straight jacket choke on. Same effect, just in a different position. And lost my place. Becky comes in while that's going on and owns Naomi with the Paige style rolling clotheslines and the second rope springboard thrust kick and a T-bone fucking suplex. Becky Lynch, while she's not known for her suplexes, while all 3 of them are known for their submissions and that's what they're pushing, Becky Lynch has a beautiful fucking T-bone suplex. We go to commercial break. Sasha hits a running double knee in the corner on Becky and a straight jacket choke. Oh, sorry, Sasha. Sasha hits a running double knee in the corner on Becky and then locks Becky in a straight jacket choke, doing it proper. Chop knockdowns, a neckbreaker, and a spear by Charlotte. Naomi waddles into the ring with no tag, gets a messy roll-up on an illegal pin with the tights, and that's how they get the win. Thank you for contributing nothing to this exchange, is what I have to say to Naomi. The other 3 girls in this match were really, really trying hard. Even Tamina on the outside did good in the little bit that she was in there. Naomi, guys, and I know what this is going to translate to some of you that want to use those hot button issues, but realistically, put your blinders on, ignore race, color, whatever, like I say, whatever hot buttons you want to read. Look at Naomi in the ring, look at anybody else. The Bellas are better than Naomi. Alicia Fox is better than Naomi. I'm pretty sure if they ever let her get back in the ring, Summer Rae is better than Naomi. The NXT divas are leaps and miles above Naomi. Why does she have a prominent spot in this revolution, which is supposed to be, oh, I don't know, good wrestlers? She's not. She's just not. And when they have, especially on SmackDown, when Uso on commentary tries his damnedest to ignore the obvious fact that that's his wife in the ring, and the commentators are ribbing him for it, and just, it's bad. I would have rather seen Tamina in this match, and she's awkward in her own right. She has a very different style from anybody else in the Divas division right now. She's got that Beth Phoenix awkwardness when facing somebody significantly smaller than her, and let's be real, everybody in the Divas division is significantly smaller than Tamina. No disrespect to her. I would have rather seen her in this match than Naomi. That's just me. Stardust versus Zack Ryder, and Stardust wins, LOL. The only thing that amused me in this match is Stardust using the side effect, and that's only because I'm a Hardy Mark. He cuts a promo on Mark Amel, whatever the hell his name is, from Arrow. I don't watch Arrow. I haven't given a whole lot of time to this little side thing because I don't watch Arrow, I don't get it, and quite frankly I don't care. I think Cody Rhodes could be doing a lot better. I know they're trying for the celebrity shtick. I know that SummerSlam is where you tap into the Hollywood names and try to get the star power in, and I get that. I do, and I don't slight WWE for that. On a personal level, I don't care. On a personal level, I wish Stardust versus Neville was still going on and going forward to SummerSlam. I'm sure Neville will be involved in some sort of way. But all of that aside, this is not the quality. This was not the... Okay, granted, it's after a match. He's out of breath. He's just, he's just spent 5 minutes trying to make Zack Ryder look good. Let's be real. He's out of breath, and he's very slurry. What I put immediately in my notes was he sounds like a drunk Russell Brand. Yeah, for those of you out there that know who Russell Brand is. If those of you who don't know who Russell Brand is, do yourself a favor, pause this video, open up a new window, open up the search engine, type in Russell Brand Messiah Complex. It's probably the best stand-up comedy shtick you will see in a long time. Why are we doing that? There we go. Your main event is Roman Reigns versus Rusev. Collar and elbow tie-up to start, as you would say. Like I said, another two big guys going at it, much the same way the end of NXT was. Collar and elbow tie-up and a side headlock by Roman, tackles by Rusev, and a headlock by Roman again. Slam by Rusev, and boots. A pair of knee lifts in the corner by Roman. Roman eats post and falls right out of the ring. For a big guy, he ragdolled pretty damn good off of that. Commercial break. We come back from the commercial break, and Rusev has a very good sequence going on. He's got Roman Reigns in the seated position, and he sort of rotates through. He's clubbing him in the chest, he's headbutting him in the back of the head, and he's going back to a nerve hold. Club to the chest, headbutt to the back of the head, goes back to the nerve hold. And they're really, really keen on commentary here. I really like this. And Uso, I have very mixed feelings about him being on SmackDown commentary for the summer. He's sometimes a hit and sometimes a miss. But he really points out that it's a great idea to work over Roman Reigns' shoulder with the nerve hold, because think about it, it takes away his ability to do the Samoan drop, it takes away his ability to do the Superman punch, and it takes away his ability to do the spear, in theory, if we go with psychology and such and such. Twisting slam and a standing headbutt by Rusev. Both men trade punches for a while. Running clothesline by Roman, corner clothesline, running clothesline by Roman, again multiple corner clotheslines by Roman, and an uppercut to finish it all off. Drive by and a belly to back suplex by Roman, leg lariat by Rusev, Batista bomb by Roman, super kick by Rusev, Superman punch by Roman, Lana and Summer catfight on the outside. Rusev gets mad, hits another super kick, the retort is a spear, Roman Reigns gets the win. Obviously, Rusev gets out of there. Okay, you are no longer relevant because the match is over. Wyatt pops up on the screen. I accept your challenge for SummerSlam. I've always wanted this war. Fucking great. As I say, like I say, Takedown is built up. Right now, SummerSlam has Wyatt and Harper versus Reigns and Ambrose. We can pretty much bank on Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. I'm hearing rumors that we're going to have the Intercontinental Triple Threat rematch, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. Seth Rollins versus John Cena, champion versus champion, and okay, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. So guys, not just SummerSlam, the entire SummerSlam weekend is shaping up pretty damn good. We got a 4-hour SummerSlam. You know, Summer Mania is running wild. The card looks good. Even the silly thing, even the thing with Stardust and Amel, Arrow guy, I'm sort of morbidly curious as to what they do with it, because I know, like I say, it's going to involve Neville in some way, shape, or form, and Stardust is great at what he does. Wyatt and Harper versus Reigns and Ambrose is just Shield and Wyatt family revisited, is it not? Kevin Owens and Cesaro, enough said. Seth Rollins and John Cena, enough said. Taker versus Brock, take my fucking money. And we'll be going off of the fumes of the excitement of the TakeOver preview from the night before. This is going to be a great weekend. WWE's put themselves in a position right now where it almost can't not be great, if that makes any sense at all. So like I said, guys, if you took a look at this this week's fights on Wednesday night and thought, you know, this wasn't much to write home about, you're right. I fully agree with you, but it's doing everything that it needs to do. You know, the racetrack is more exciting, but the service in the mechanic's garage is what gets the job done. Worst metaphor I've come up with today. I want to say before I go off, you guys may or may not have seen, I put a video up last night. My buddy Connor, a.k.a. Fabe, helped me out with that. A couple of dramatic issues that I've had here in the YWC. People have asked me for my point of view. I got a bunch of shit off my chest last night. I'm not going to be referencing those things again. Thank you to Connor for helping me out with that. And if you want to, check it out. If you're like me, trying to move forward, trying to avoid the drama from here on in, don't. It's as simple as that. Anyways, I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.